Alright, so let's dive into painting our base color maps for this armor and clothing. I'm just going to start with the gold that I had in mind. So as you can see in the UVs, it's all in one tab, or one patch. And I'm going to have to, because I UV'd this as a part of another, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a masking technique, but nothing major. So the first thing I want to do is lay down a base gold color. And I've done a quick Google search. Actually minimize this for you guys. So you can see better what I'm talking about. So pretty straightforward, quick Google search on gold. Just trying to get the idea of what kind of gold color I want, because as you can see it kind of varies. And I want something that is a bit richer, more towards the oranges and reds rather than the kind of green and yellow. So something like this maybe. Yeah, like this. So I'm gonna grab that image. I'm gonna save it in my texture reference folder. And I'm going to import it. And there we go. The whole point of this is I just want to color pick a base gold, like so. Trying something slightly, there we go. Let's try that one. And I'm just going to fill it like so. It's going a little too yellow for me, so I'm actually going to just bring this down to more of that gold color, and I don't want it so saturated. And fill with the foreground. A bit better. We're going to leave that as is. We're probably going to change this a bit later on because it still feels a bit too saturated for my liking. And a lot of the saturation is actually going to come from the specularity and the shader. So, but for now I'm going to leave it as a placeholder. And I'm going to smart select the color. Same process as before in previous Maris. Like so. And I'm going to paint the color in here as well. Like so. And there's our base gold. Now from here I want to add that brushed texture to give it a sense rather than obviously flat color. So what I want to do is create that brush texture in Photoshop. That I can then tile out. So I'm going to create a new texture, 4096 by 4096. Good. I'm going to fill this with gray. And then I'm going to lay down a noise. monochromatic noise. And then from here, I'm going to do a motion blur. So as you can see, it's taking the uniformity and blurring it horizontally based on the angle that I've decided. And there we go. Nice clean brush texture. Not worried about the outside edges here. In fact, I'm just going to size it up so we lose them. And I'm going to save this. Into text reference. And let's go back in, and we're going to create a tiled texture, and we're going to grab that stainless steel we just did. And as you can see, if we just isolate pieces we want, because of the way we UV'd this, it's doing exactly what we want all the way around. And it's oriented perfectly with the contours of the geometry. Whereas before, we wouldn't have been able to get this if we just did a simple tile. So being able to UV this intelligently like this is going to save us a lot of time on the back end creating textures like these. And I'm going to do a mask, reveal all, and I'm going to mask the pieces that I want. Like so, and then I know that I don't want these in there, like so. So now we have just the brush texture. You may notice that it's doing something weird here because of the way the UVs are, but this is on the inside of the collar, so I'm not too worried about that. And in fact, I don't really want this brush to go all the way up to that edge, so I'm actually going to mask this out as well. Because it's of little consequence that it's on the inside. And then with this tiled stainless steel, we're going to blend this in. Start with the multiply. Or let's try an overlay. Overlay is a bit better, but we're going to need to do some adjustments to the levels. Try to get a little bit more contrast out of it. There we go. So that's reading a bit better. However, I'm looking at this gold and I'm really actually not even liking what I've done here. So I'm going to adjust it. Something that feels a bit more realistic. That feels a bit better. So very quickly, we have a really nice base brushed metal here, and we can dial in how much we want this stainless steel to go in the color, because we want it to be relatively subtle. You can still get the sense of it, but a lot of that's going to be showing up in the spec for us. So we want to keep it simple and minimal in the color map. And there we go. It's a good base for this metal. But I want to add a little bit of variation in here. So I've imported a bunch of different images that I've collected that I felt would be good textures for the materials and the objects. So I'm going to just try to find something I think would work well. Again, it really depends how weathered you want this to be. And I said previously I want his armor to be his best armor that he only wears on special occasions. So it's not going to be as weathered and tattered and worn as his battle armor. This kind of ceremonial armor, if you will. So I don't want too much breakup, but just enough. And I'm going to try this texture here, see what we can get. So I'm going to do another tileable. And that leather and load from here. One kind of downfall. Is that you can't see thumbnails. So I have it up here. In my tiled section. Like so. And then I'm going to tile this quite a bit. I know it's a leather texture, but I'm going to use it very faintly just to get some breakup. And I'm going to copy this layer mask, paste it into here. So we have the same one because that's what I want. And then I'm going to do a luminance and blend it. So we're getting a bit of breakup. Nothing crazy, but just something so it's not perfect. And that's just going to be enough to give it that worn-in feel, but still new. And I'm pretty happy with that, so good. And then with all these, I'm going to group them. Call this gold. And there's our base for our gold. I'm going to cut this demo short now, and in the next demo we're going to go over the next piece of this armor and clothing, and laying down the base color for that as well.